Want smoother gameplay on your LG UltraGear monitor? This guide shows how to enable 120 Hz on Windows and consoles. For Windows PCs, go to Settings, then System, Display, and set the refresh rate to 120 Hz. For Xbox, check Settings, General, TV and Display options, Video modes, and select 120 Hz. For PS5, go to Settings, Screen and Video Output, and choose 120 Hz. Make sure you have the right cable, like HDMI 2.0 or higher, or DisplayPort 1.2 or better for best performance. Also ensure your device and games support 120 Hz for optimal results. Refresh rate measures how many times your monitor updates the image per second. 120 Hz doubles the refresh rate of standard 60 Hz displays, resulting in much smoother motion and reduced motion blur. This makes gameplay more responsive and visually appealing, especially in fast-paced games. This is a great feature, but requires a compatible source. The right cable is crucial for enabling 120 Hz on your LG UltraGear monitor. For 120 Hz at 1080p or 1440p resolutions, you need at least HDMI 2.0 or DisplayPort 1.2. For 4K resolution at 120 Hz, HDMI 2.1 becomes essential due to the higher bandwidth requirements. To prevent signal issues and ensure stable performance, use ultra-high-speed HDMI cables that are 48 GB PSEC certified. Using the wrong cable can limit you to just 60 Hz, so always check your cable specifications. First, connect your LG UltraGear monitor to your PC using the appropriate cable, such as HDMI 2.0 or DisplayPort 1.2. Next, in Windows, go to Settings, then System, Display, and Advanced Display Settings. If your monitor and graphics card support it, select 120 Hz from the Refresh Rate drop-down menu. Use NVIDIA Control Panel to enable VRR and cap FPS to 120. Alternatively, use AMD Radeon settings to enable VRR and cap FPS to 120. For Xbox Series XS, navigate to Settings, then General, TV and Display options, Video modes, and select 120 Hz. On PS5, go to Settings, Screen and Video Output, and choose 120 Hz if supported by the game. Also enable VRR in console settings for optimal performance, and make sure your TV supports 120 Hz. Can't get 120 Hz working? This visual shows the kind of dynamic action that benefits from high refresh rates. First, update your GPU drivers to ensure compatibility and fix bugs. Use NVIDIA Control Panel or AMD Radeon settings for this. Then, double-check your cable meets HDMI 2.0+ or DisplayPort 1.2+ specifications for 120 Hz support. This chart shows HDMI cable types and their compatibility. Make sure you're using at least high-speed or premium high-speed cables. Also, ensure your monitor's firmware is up to date via LG's on-screen control software for improved stability. If problems persist, contact LG support for model-specific help. While 120 Hz was once cutting edge, the gaming monitor market now focuses on 144 Hz and 240 Hz as standard. LG's newer UltraGear models emphasize higher refresh rates and OLED panels for better contrast. Expect improved console integration and cable technology advancements like USB-C with DP Alt mode. By 2027, 120 Hz may become obsolete for PCs, with HDMI 2.2 projected for ultra-high resolutions. Many users have successfully enabled 120 Hz on LG UltraGear monitors. Some faced issues with HDMI cables or VRR flickering, resolved by firmware updates. Others upgraded to newer models for better performance. For example, one Xbox Series X user on the LG 27GN800 enabled 120 Hz at 1440p using an HDMI 2.0 cable. They faced VRR flickering, but resolved it with a firmware update, noticing reduced input lag in games like Halo Infinite. Another PC gamer upgraded from a 24GN600 to the 32UN8A-B for 144 Hz capabilities. They used DisplayPort 1.4 to downscale to 120 Hz for older games, achieving stable performance with FreeSync enabled. On the PS5 with the LG 32GQ95B, users enabled 120 Hz via HDMI 2.1 for games like Spider-Man 2. VRR eliminated screen tearing at 120 FPS, demonstrating console optimization in newer monitor models. Remember, your experience may vary based on your hardware and software configurations.